Welcome to Jerez in Spain. We're in the region of Andalusia, the occasion the 16th Men's European Club Athletics Championships. We're in the southwestern corner of Spain. Conditions here, very blustery indeed. We're only, after all, 9 kilometres from the coast. The athletes already assembling as part of a small opening ceremony here. And we've got competing one or two Olympic champions past and present. Brahim Boutayeb runs in the 10,000 metres later on. Crowd not very big, an interested crowd, very much into club athletics, and the best 8 clubs in Europe are here. Red Star Belgrade for Yugoslavia, Amsterdam for Holland, Fiamme Oro Padua of Italy, and the Trade Union Sports Club Moscow are representing the Soviet Union. The remaining 4, Racing Club France, Club Harriers, the Spanish team looking to give Spain its first ever win in this competition, Benfica of Portugal, and of course the Birchfield Harriers of Great Britain, who have never won this title. Some fine athletes within these 8 clubs, and we shall be all seeing them all during the course of this programme. 9 points for first place, down to 1 point for 8th. So that means this is very much competition. Even the 8th place person gets 1 point. So it's a club team event, and that's important to understand at this stage. Well, there it is, today's events. It's a 2-day meeting. We've got 100 metres, 400 metres, the 1,500 metres, Boutayeb in that 10,000 metres, the 400-metre hurdles, the 4x100 metres relay, and of course the hammer in the field events, the shot put, the long jump and the high jump. Well, the first event on the track is the 100 metres, and the lineup from the right is Sokolov of Yugoslavia, Red Star Belgrade, right of picture, Retziger of Holland, that's the Amsterdam club, Sabidin of Italy, that's Fiamme Oro Padua, Davidov of the Soviet Union in lane 4, Bruno Mari Rose of France, the world indoor 200-metre record holder, he's in lane 5, Javier Arquez of Spain, representing Larios in the yellow strip in lane 6, Pedro Carvalho of Portugal, that's Benfica, in lane 7, and Jason John replaces Lincoln Asquith for the Birchfield Harriers on the outside. And that, I thought that Reisiger got away there. Tim.
Yep, very fast start by several athletes there, but I think the man second from the inside, Reisiger, possibly the man just inside him on the inside lane, Sokolov, made the full start. We'll have to see.
Just looking there at Bruno Mari Rose, right of picture, better known over 200 metres, of course, holding that world indoor best. He's far better over the longer race. He's had far better performances over the 200 metres, but he has run 10.37 over 100 metres this year, and last year ran 10.16, so it's very, very respectable running.
Yes, that implies that he is getting better. He is improving his 100-metre running. Mari Rose there, number 5, you can see right in the centre of your picture. French athlete is sandwiched between 2 elder athletes, both relative veterans in athletics terms. They're both 30. That's Davidov of the Soviet Union and Arquez of Spain, but both very old athletes, both got a good record. Davidov has run 10.11 and Arquez 10.21. And Linford Christie, the European champion, of course, is 30 himself this year.
Well, let me just remind you of the lineup then. Sokolov of Yugoslavia on the inside, Reisiger of Holland, 1 false start against him. Sabidin of Italy, Davidov of the Soviet Union, Mari Rose of France, Arquez of Spain, Carvalho of Portugal, and Jason John of Great Britain, left of picture in the black strip. Bruno Rose, last to settle.
Listo.
Sokolov getting away well in lane 1, and Arquez going well, and Mari Rose now beginning to open up with Davidov on the inside, and Mari Rose coming away, and so is the Briton on the near side, and Mari Rose wins it, and it's a photograph between Arquez and John. A good run by the 18-year-old Briton. He's got a best of 10.5, and he may well have gone better. 10.38 the time for Bruno Mari Rose. And looking at this start, Tim, they're going into what looks like a headwind, the board showing a headwind.
Yes, it does. Mari Rose, just to the left of the centre of your picture there, in the long light blue trousers, got a very good start for a big man. These men tend to have a not such good start. But in yellow there, the Spanish athlete from the Larios Club Arquez, an old man now in athletics terms, but a great run for him, probably a personal best for him. And the man on the left of the picture in black had a good run too.
I'll tell you what, I'm still trying to sort out who, in fact, was second. It's certainly between John and Arquez. Arquez in yellow and John, the 18-year-old, nearest the camera. No doubt about Murray Rose. He won it clearly. And the young Briton may have got it, but it won't be much between them. Well, there you have it. Murray Rose, 10.36, and John did get it over Arquez, 10.46 to 10.47, 100th of a second. Well, several field events on this afternoon, and we've got now Pierre Macon of France. Just to bring you up to date with the event, Stuart Faulkner of Great Britain is leading with 7 metres and 62 at the moment. Macon didn't really make good contact with the board there and didn't get the lift he needed. At best he's a 7 metre 38 jumper, and there you've got it, 6 metres and 77, and Macon not making an impression at all on the competition. Frank Verzy of France, wearing the number 5, attempting 2:05. Now that's just a softener really. He's breaking himself into the competition and making sure of getting a point, and this is something you will see in club athletics. Verzy, a European Cup winner, remember, back in 1983, now 29 years old. He's got a best of 2 metres and 32, so he should find this fairly comfortable, and does. So the high jump in full swing, the long jump in the first round, and Stuart Faulkner leading that long jump competition at the moment, and Verzy opening up the high jumpers too. He's the first to go. So on the track, the 400-metre hurdles, and good race in prospect here, although the blustery conditions will make it difficult in terms of stride patterns. There's the lineup. Baghdianov of the Soviet Union on the inside. Diabar, representing Racing Club France, of course, he's the Senegalese, the Olympic silver medalist. Fraga of Spain, Rodriguez of Portugal, only 19. Antoine of Birchfield in Great Britain, Karalic of Yugoslavia, Burleson of Holland, and Bellino of Italy. Well, an extraordinary range of ability, Tim, in this field.
Yes, there is, of course. Amadou Diabar, 31 now. He's run a personal best of 47.23. That's the third fastest ever. There he is, middle of your picture, number 5. Absolutely incredible athlete. Got the silver medal in the 1988 Olympics. Very strong, very consistent, and the man to watch in this race.
Well, that's Fraga of Spain, number 6 outside him in the Portuguese vest, only 19, still a junior. Pedro Rodriguez with a best of 51.2. Les Antoine of Birchfield Harriers in Great Britain, he's 24 now, the Midlands champion, 4th in the British Championships last season, a best of 51.38. And outside him is a fellow in good form, Karalic of Yugoslavia, 27, a best of 49.57, and that was back in 1988. He ran just outside 50 seconds last season. Burleson of Holland, 53.34 performer, and on the outside, Bellino, the Italian, and he has the task of setting the pace. But when they get into the back straight, they'll find a slight backwind, but it has been blustering, and as I said, stride patterns may well have been changed just prior to this race. Diabar then in the second lane.
Listo.
And away quite nicely on the inside. Diabar not away very quickly at all, and it's Karalic of Yugoslavia who's gone away quickly. He's up on Burleson of Holland at the moment on the outside, Bellino of Italy. And so the Yugoslav supposed his intent. He's running a very fast first 200 metres, and Diabar, the man who beat Ed Moses, of course, in the last Olympic final, not making an impression at the moment, but he is a strong finisher. So Karalic, third in the European Club Championships in '87. He was second last year, trying to make a winner this time, but Diabar's coming at him, and Diabar is looking for his 7th consecutive European Clubs win. And Diabar struggling for stride pattern here. And look at that. He really climbed that hurdle, and he's going to take it. And Diabar, the Olympic silver medalist, comes through to win it. Karalic in second, and the youngster, Rodriguez of Portugal, comes in third place. The Briton was last. And that was a very fast run indeed, 49.45. And Diabar, in order to get that 7th consecutive win, had to really work for that last hurdle. And it looks as though he may well have injured his ankle in that. He's very, very tired.
Well, Karalic made that race, didn't he, Stuart? He really went for it, went out hard. He knew that Diabar was the man to beat. Here you see them with about 100 metres to go. Diabar just getting the lead at this point, but Karalic made him work for every inch of that lead. Absolutely brilliant run from that man. Back in third.
Oh, that was a superb piece of running by Diabar, but as you said, the Yugoslav made it, and once again he's in second place. 49.45 the unofficial time. There is the official time, slightly faster. Diabar 49.43, Karalic of Yugoslavia 49.79, and Rodriguez personal best 50.33. He's only 19. Well, we're going to take a break, but after the break we're going to come back and see the 400 metres. It promises to be a good one. Join us soon. Welcome back to the 16th Men's European Club Athletics Championships in Spain. We've got a high jump in competition here, and we've also got a long jump too, but in the high jump we have the number 3, Daniele Pagani of Italy, and he's well clear, the bar at 2 meters and 10. The competition in its early stages at the moment. They've got his process. He came in at 2:10 and cleared it on the first occasion. Chose to pass at the early heights. Well, we're over to the long jump. At the moment, Stuart Faulkner, you just see with the number 8 on his vest for Birchfield in Great Britain, he's leading with 7 meters and 62. This is Arthur Lynch of Holland, next to jump, the number 2. And Lynch had 6 meters and 91 in the first round. And incidentally, Pierre Macon of France, 6.77. And Coltri of Italy is in second place at the moment with his first round jump of 7 meters and 57. That's the Fiamma Oro Padar. So Lynch just waiting for the officials to signal him down. Powerful looking character, good sprinter on the runway, but is having problems hitting the board properly and getting the lift from it. Indisciplined in a sense on the runway. High knee lift. Oh, and he made the adjustments at the end, but his approach was miles out. He was about 2.5 feet out on that. And he's got to make massive adjustments to his approach. No jump to there. And look at that back wind, 1.49, which gives you some indication of the wind speed on the track for the track athletes, particularly in the 100, 400 meters and the hurdlers. So he goes across to have a word with supporters, but he's going to struggle to get into the points here. But Hernandez had a no jump in the first round of this competition, but he is a good jumper. He's an 8-meter jumper, and he got good lift, and that was a hang technique. Very basic, a good drive of the takeoff knee, and very simple, and that looked to me to be over 7 meters and 50, and if it is, then it could be challenging Faulkner's lead. Hernandez, he's 24 years old, improved this year from 7 meters and 91 up to 8 meters. That was indoors. He's done a windy 8 meters and 14 outdoors, and his only major championship performance, well, it was 4th in the World Student Games this year. 7.76, and that is the lead, and he's the last jumper in this second round. Well, we've got the 400 meters, as was promised, coming up next on the track as Hernandez walks back. The wind speed quite strong in the home straight. Let's have a look at the starters. That's number 2, that's Visserman of Holland in this 400 meters. Let's have a look at the full lineup then. Silva of Benfica and Portugal on the inside, Phil Brown of Great Britain and Birchfield Harriers, Brankovic of Yugoslavia, then Visserman, Petrella of Italy, and Popov of the Soviet Union, not wearing a club vest, I hasten to add. He's wearing the traditional Soviet red vest. Gori of France in lane 5, or lane 7 rather, and Cornet of Spain in lane 8, the 1989 European indoor champion.
Listo.
That's Cornet, and Cornet way well on the outside, and he'll have to go quickly, not quite sure what's happening inside him. Phil Brown of Great Britain has gone off very, very slowly indeed, and I can see there Brankovic of Yugoslavia going very quickly on the inside in lane 3, moving right through past the rest of this field. The Italian Petrella going well too in the maroon strip. These three out at the moment, and Cornet, well, he run a very fast first 200 metres. Now he consolidates in the third 100 metres and looks to the home straight, and at the moment Brankovic of Yugoslavia is leading, and Cornet on the outside. Brankovic leading, Cornet in second place. Petrella in third at the moment, and Gory of France closing down on Petrella. But Brankovic coming through, and Cornet coming through very quickly, and Cornet gets it from Brankovic in second, and Petrella in third, and that was a very good competitive race, 45.48, and Brankovic has run a very solid race. Is a new personal best, certainly it must be. 45.48, he almost held off Cornet, the more experienced of the two, over one lap.
Absolutely fantastic race. Brankovic really took the race to the faster man outside him there, Cornet, the Spaniard. You see Brankovic here with a big lead, but Cornet's pulling him back all the way down the home straight. And it's a very similar race to the 400-metre hurdles we saw earlier this evening, where the Yugoslavian athletes really are taking the races to the competition and forcing every last ounce of energy out of their competition. Look at this, Brankovic tying up in the last 50 metres. He gave everything in that first half of the race. Cornet dives for the line and just gets there by a metre.
Cornet is certainly the most, or the more accomplished of the two athletes. He has a best of 44.96, that was last season, so he's the class man. But Brankovic is making good headway. He was second in last year's race, behind Innocent Igbeniki, actually, who was running for Larios on that occasion, so he's come second again to an athlete in the Larios vest. Good run by the Yugoslav. Incidentally, the Red Star Belgrade club are the defending champion club. Well, there it is, Cornet 45.46, Brankovic 45.54, and Petrella 46.55. A good race. Phil Brown fourth in 46.72. Well, the long jump competition still in progress, I should say, and at the moment we have no change in that leading situation. I was just looking, Hernandez, the Spaniard with 7.76, is leading at the moment, and Markinovic, a 25-year-old Yugoslav, he's just shy of 8 metres on his personal best, 7 metres and 98. That's not in this competition. That was he did the same distance in 88 and 89. Stuart Faulkner once again in picture. He's pacing up and down. He's an 8-metre plus jumper, and what a battle he's having with Angel Hernandez of Spain. So Markinovic waiting for his opportunity, had a no jump in the first round, just settling and waiting. Has a minute and a half in which to make the jump once the judges signal him down. Lots of adjustments, and that looked very close to a no jump to me. One or two of these athletes finding the fluctuating wind, and that was a no jump. He's got 7.43, and once again, look, it's a headwind there of 0.6, so it's fluctuating between 1.48 and 0.6. Topic in the high jump. Dražan Topic, only 19 years old, and that was 2 metres and 15, just over 7 feet. So there's his progress. Came in at 2 metres to get his point, passed at 2.05, cleared 2.10, and then cleared at 2 metres 15. Oh, we've got Lynch again, the Dutchman. We seem to keep catching him, and he has 6 metres and 91 at the moment, so he's not challenging just yet, but he certainly seems to have the power built into those legs, doesn't he? Let's see how he goes this time. Last time we saw him, he had to make adjustments, Tim, to that approach. We'll see whether he's done it.
Yes, the wind gives these athletes a lot of problems, Stuart, as it did with the hurdlers and the 400-metre hurdles. So they've got their run-up perfectly worked out, but the wind puts out their judgment.
Well, he was a little bit closer there, a little bit closer to the board, and I still think that's a no jump again. But he slammed down on the board. He made the adjustments. Well, I think they're measuring. I didn't see the white flag from where I'm sitting, but certainly Lynch not challenging the lead. 6 metres and 91, his best jump so far. That's a no jump. Well, that is the Italian in the long jump, and that's Robert Coltree. He's in the third round now. He has 7 metres and 56, his best jump. Faulkner in second, and Hernandez in first with 7 metres and 76. And he got quite well into that, didn't he? Slammed onto the board. Good leg speed, sank down as he approached the board. Good lift. But I think it went over that board. We'll come back for the result of that at the moment, but it looked as though it was a no jump, actually. Well, Andre, the 1984 Olympic shot put champion, in the third round of the shot, and he has 19 meters and 17 at the moment, so he's leading, and or rather he's in. I was just looking up there. Gert Weil has had 19 meters and 56 in this round, so Andre finds himself in second place at the moment with 19.17, and that was 18 meters and 96. Oh, just looking at Andre, the policeman. And we've got to the 1500 meters coming over now. 3 3/4 laps of the track. A lot of interest in this. And it should be a good competitive race, Tim.
Yes, it should, Stuart. There are 5 men in this race who have run under 3:40. That's the benchmark in international running. If you can get under 3:40, then you can consider yourself an international athlete. But there are also 3 runners in this race who are world-class 800-meter runners. And because it's a club competition and every single point what counts, you may find that they'll play a cat-and-mouse race in this particular one, with the 800-meter runners, the people to watch. So we'll point these athletes out to you as the race gets underway.
Well, just looking at the pace as they get underway, quite clearly that's stumbling, and the Larios athlete is stopped, and that's Quizera, of course, and he's got to put his shoe back on. His shoe came off, and it's so slow, and Rob Harrison at the front in the all-black vest of the Birchfield Harriers at the front, slowing it down. The Soviet, Jamishkin, in second place at the moment. But it's a very, very slow race.
That is absolutely drastic for Quizera. He's a very, very talented young athlete. He's got a personal best of 3:37, represents Burundi when he's running his national vest, but of course he's running for the Spanish team Larios. He's going to have a job catching these boys up now, though, even though they are going so slowly. That's Rob Harrison in the front there, and number 4 is the Russian athlete Bamishkin. But as we expected, a very, very slow race this. None of these athletes wanted to take it along. It must be windy out there. And at this race, I wouldn't be surprised if Quizera, the Spanish athlete, or the athlete running for the Spanish team, that is a bit confusing with all these athletes running for teams that other than their home nation, might well catch them up. But nobody at all interested here. Look at that first lap, 70 seconds. That should have been about 60 seconds or under 60 seconds. That is very, very slow. And they really are giving this race away to the big kickers. Rob Harrison from Birchfield there in black, and the Russian athlete Mishkin quite happy to sit at the front there. Nobody interested in going round to the front and pushing this pace along. You would half expect that Zorko, the athlete from Yugoslavia, I'll try and point him out to you. He's a 3,000-meter runner. You'd expect him, there he is, in 4th place on the inside in the red vest. You'd expect him to take this out. He's a 3,000-meter runner with a lot of strength, not a lot of speed, and he really should be pushing this race along. I'll be surprised if he's there at the kill with a fast finish in this race. And there you see Quizera has got back in touch with him. The man in yellow at the back there, quite comfortable, hasn't had to work too hard.
I'll tell you what, Tim, the pace was so slow that he really didn't lose anything from bending down and redoing his shoelace in the early stages, as you saw. The Soviet athlete leading at the moment, Vamashkin, but really it's not a significant part of this who's leading, except that Quizera now probably wants to get on with this to make sure of some points. The Spanish athlete, and here comes the Italian from the back of the field, that's Luca Vandi, best of 3:38.60. That was back in 1987 though. And so Birchfield Harriers are leading, the Great Britain team leading from Italy in second, Spain in third, the Soviets in fourth, then the Portuguese and Benfica in fifth, and it's the Yugoslavs coming around the corner into sixth place. It's a very, very tight race. In fact, number 2, Mark van Roop, is now in third place, and it's now beginning to hot up.
Yes, it is. Rob Harrison got to the front, gradually speeded up, with all the athletes now getting ready. They're coming up to the bell. That's the Italian on the outside there. That's Luca Vandi pushing alongside Rob Harrison's shoulder. Rob Harrison, the British athlete, personal best of 3:35. He's got a good turn of speed. Has run 1:45 for 800 metres himself. He'll want to hold that pole position at the front now. Quizera stumbled again there, the man in yellow, and it's the Yugoslav athlete pushing around the outside of him, Zorko.
Well, this is a good competitive sprint finish, isn't it? and the Yugoslav coming very, very quickly around. Zorko, as you say, attacking now, and he's in good position. Harrison's got good position at the front, but can he hold on? He started his break very, very early indeed. Vandy in second place, Zorko in third, and Moreira of Portugal coming on the outside, and Moreira making a late run.
Great run from Moreira. Look at that. He's saved his position, but Harrison's still at the front. He's working hard to stay there. Vandy's working hard, the Italian, in the middle of the picture. But look at that. It's for Moreira coming down the outside, takes it. Absolutely amazing. Perfect judgment from him.
Well, Vandy in second place there, and Rob Harrison died a little bit in the final straight into third place. A good run that by Moreira. He judged it well, actually. It was a very, very slow race. And off the end of that last bend, he attacked and made it count. It was positive. He left it a little bit late. Let's have a look at this. He comes very, very wide, Moreira, the 25-year-old, the best of 3:37. And it looks here as though Harrison might hang on, or Vandy might well take over. Harrison's got good rhythm here, but notice now he starts to tighten up. I watch Quizera on the inside too. There's a big gap opened up, but he has to come across, and that loses him any chance of a place. Moreira comes through to take it, and he's got good relaxed form, hasn't he, through to the finish. And as I said, Vandy in second place and Harrison in third. Last 400, 52.1.
Here you see them again. Real cat and mouse race, as we expected. Three of the athletes just not in it. It's a sprinter's race. Rob Harrison has had a lot of injuries recently. Vandy working very hard there, the Italian. But it really was a clever race by Moreira, the Portuguese athlete, coming down the outside there. Last lap of 52.1. There's absolutely no point in hanging around if you haven't got the speed, and this man shows that he has got the speed and he can win.
Well, he got 9 points with that 3:57.57 time. Moreira, Vandy of Italy, 3:57.70, and Rob Harrison of Great Britain and the Birchfield Harriers in third, 3:57.72. Let's have a look at the hammer result. We didn't see that competition. That was before the opening ceremonies. Zanello, 72 metres and 68. Ciafani of France, 72.62. And Menialo of the Soviet Union, 65 metres and 24 in third place. Well, there are the team scores after 5 events, including that hammer. Racing Club of France are leading with 30 points, along with the Italian team Fiammi Oro Padua. Larios in third, Benfica fourth, Estrella Roya or Red Star Belgrade in fifth, the Birchfield Harriers in sixth, Amsterdam in seventh, and the Soviets with 14 points in eighth place. Well, we're going to take a break now. After that break, we've got the 10,000 metres and the Olympic champion, Brahim Butayev. Some very fine performances already. Not a very quick 1,500 metres, but it was a good competitive last 150 metres or so with the Portuguese coming through. Well, this is Stuart Faulkner, and we've got the 5th round of the long jump. He's still in second place with 7 metres and 62. He's behind Angel Hernandez of Spain with 7 metres and 76. Hernandez incidentally went better than that with 7.77 in the third round, 7.48 in the fourth. Faulkner then. Oh, he attacked that, got good lift, and that didn't look too bad. That looked very close to 8 metres to me. And the Birchfield Harrier may well have pulled it off here. Hernandez still has 2 jumps to go, Faulkner still has 1, but what a competition it's been between these two. And Faulkner with 7.62 has had a run of no jumps. Now let's have a look at his technique. He smacks the board, sinks, shortens the penultimate stride, and it's a nice little hitch kick into that jump. And we make, 7 metres and 90 into a headwind. He's taken the lead, and so Birchfield Harriers lead the long jump in the 5th round. We join the 10,000 metres now. And there's the clock, 9 minutes and 45 seconds gone. Just about 16 laps to go, I think, just over, Tim.
Yes, that's right. That's Pinto of Portugal in the front, followed by Butayev, the Olympic champion. He won that Olympic title when he was just 21. First person to have ever won it that young. And in third place there is Levis running for the French team. Now 38 Levis. He's an old man, if you like, 38 years strong. And like the Portuguese athletes, Lopez and Mamede, he's very, very tough and running better and better the older he gets. But here you see these 3 athletes have broken away. Pinto has led from the gun, very, very fast first 3,000 metres, going through in 8.22. Butayev right behind him, just tucked in and relaxing. And Levis enjoying the ride too.
Tim, let's just talk about Butayev. I mean, to win an Olympic title at a tender age and the manner in which he won it, we've seen him run here, and it's so often said that he looks as though he's taking it so easy.
He does. It's absolutely astonishing. A lot of athletes are criticised for this. It looks like they're not trying, but the expression on their face shouldn't really be used as an indication of the effort they're putting in. Butayev looks very relaxed, even looks very relaxed in the arms and shoulders and the legs. He really doesn't look like he's running at speed, in fact, but he does. He covers the ground very, very economically, and the heart and lungs he must have are just incredible. To win the Olympic 10,000 at 21 is most unusual, because it's a distance event, it's a strength event, and it's an event at which athletes get better as they get older. So who knows what this man will be doing in a few years' time. He could be the first man to take 10,000 under 27 minutes, perhaps.
Well, he's undefeated at 5,000 metres in 1989, although he didn't run too many of those. That's the Italian coming through, and that's Modica. He's just outside 29.20, so he's no threat to these boys up the front. And Butayev, very, very cool, calm and collected. Pinto, best of just outside 28 minutes and around 28 and a half last year. We're back in the long jump now as we take a break from that 10,000 metres. And we've got Markinovic of Yugoslavia. And his best of 7 metres and 43 according to my statistics here. And not challenging the first two places at the moment. But certainly in with a chance of getting into the top three. He's got to beat 7 metres and 90 to get up there. He didn't quite go that far, but the Yugoslav has attacked quite well there. Let's have a look at this. Very rangy, very tall, good sprinter. Sinks down very upright. He's got to be over the takeoff foot when he takes off. Nice little hitch kick, a 1.5. And that's 7 metres and 62, and that puts him into third place. So the first three places look as though they're decided, Tim. Back to the 10,000 metres.
Back to the 10,000 and no change. As you can see, that's still Pinto in lead, and Butayev, the young Moroccan, in second place, just ahead of Levis, the Frenchman. Going back to Butayev, he was coached by Saïd Ouita, the great Moroccan, the multiple world record holder from Morocco, until the spring of '88, when they had a disagreement, and rumour has it that in actual fact Ouita felt his #1 position in Moroccan athletics was being threatened by this man, and of course so it proved to be the case later on in the year when Butayev became the Olympic 10,000 champion.
Well, Tim, Ouita, of course, has his own problems at the moment, doesn't he? And there is some indication that we may not see him this season, certainly through the first half of the season.
Well, that's right. I mean, it has to be said that in the British press today, at least, it's been reported that Ouita is out injured and will not be racing for the rest of the season. He's got to have a thigh operation in France, and what a contrast in fortunes, really. It has to be said. Look at that. Here you see his compatriot Butayev running a race at the beginning of the season, looking very fit, looking very comfortable, and Ouita, a lot of very, very good races behind him, but it's not a happy time in any athlete's career when he has to go under the knife and have an operation. So very sad that.
Looking at Butayev's performance, he was a junior, of course, in 1986 and was fourth in the World Junior 5,000 metres Championship. Went on to the World Championships in 1987 and was 10th in his heat, but it was 13:32 and he was beginning to show some form then. And of course along came the Olympics. Unexpected.
It was unexpected, yes. His rise to the very top level was very sudden. To come 10th in your heat in the World Championships one year and then next year to win the Olympics is absolutely staggering. And as I say, I've said again, it can't be stressed too much. This man's talent is unbelievable. I think you're looking at a man who could possibly push the world record for 5,000 as well, because he has got a good turn of speed. Last year he only ran 1 or 2 10,000s, nothing particularly fast. Talking about Butayev, the man in second there in yellow from the Harriers club of Spain. He worked on his speed last year, ran 1,500, 3,000 and 5,000 personal bests. And after having run the Olympic 10,000 the previous year, that's sort of going backwards, if you like, in athletic terms. That's going back to your roots, working on your speed, and he'd probably come out and run an even faster 10,000 than his Olympic race.
Well, we've got the Spanish athlete here, Arturo Ortiz, and the bar at 2 metres and 21. And Ortiz, one of the favourites for this competition, because he has a best of 2 metres and 31. That was indoors. He has the stature, doesn't he? Very tall, and looks as though he's going to extend that personal best outdoors, which was in Olympic year, of 2 metres and 28. Silver medalist in the European indoors. Oh, and that was a very fine clearance indeed. And once again, whilst one Harriers athlete does well on the track, another is doing very well here. Look at that, all first-time clearances from 2:05 right the way through to 2 meters and 21 from Ortiz. Good performance. Close look at this technique. Watch him turn into the bar, drive the inside knee and raise the inside shoulder. He mustn't let that drop, and that's a beautiful flop technique to take him clear.
Back to the 10,000. There you see they've dropped Levis. There's only 2 athletes in it now. Pinto, followed by Boutaeb, the Moroccan. They went through 5,000 metres in 14:04. Pinto having led every single step of the way. And depending on how this second half goes, they could go close to the 1990 world best time. It is, of course, early in the year, but nevertheless, the world best time for this year so far is 27:55 by Salvatore Antibo, the other great Italian athlete.
Well, we've now got the shot put competition. Gert Weil, and 19 meters and 56, his best performance. That was the his 3rd round. This is the 5th round of this shot competition, and he's leading at the moment. And of course, Weil, interesting competitor. He's the South American champion, actually. And last season, he competed for Bayer Leverkusen, so he's moving around clubs and finds himself this time competing for Harriers of Spain. So 18 meters and 90, then to 1956, 2 no throws there. So he is leading over the 1984 Olympic champion. So Weil, 6th in the Olympic final. We move now over to a man who was 1st in that Olympic final over 10,000 meters, Ibrahim Boutaeb. 17 minutes gone in this 10,000 meters, and Boutaeb quite content to let Pinto, Portugal, do all the work. Pinto content to stay there, and Boutaeb is very interested. They're lapping athletes now. That's the Yugoslav Ponovic. Very, very content to stay there. This is not about records. This is about his club, and this is about getting 9 points for his club.
That's right, it is. But nevertheless, Pinto's pushing this pace along. He's only 24, and he's going to go very close to his personal best if he keeps this pace going. Very young, developing talent, obviously keen on maintaining the tradition of Portuguese distance running that has been kept going over these last few years by Leitao. Got the bronze medal in the 5,000 in Los Angeles. Carlos Lopez won the Olympic gold medal in Los Angeles Olympics, and Mahmoud, who held the world record until last year. But Pinto pushing it along here, and as Stuart said, points very important. These men aren't too worried about the time. Pinto obviously feels this was his best way of getting good points for his club.
Well, that's Pagani in the high jump, Daniele Pagani, wearing the maroon strip of Italy, and the bar at 2 meters and 21. Well, he didn't start off with a confident approach, and we'll try and come back to him in a moment if we can.
Back to the 10,000. Boutaeb, by the way, man in second there, has run a mile in 3:54. That's incredible speed for the man who is the Olympic 10,000 champion, a man who is still so young, of course. And, well, he worked on his speed last year. If he's worked on his speed this year, then I wouldn't like to be in Pinto's shoes. He must know he's got Boutaeb there. He's got rid of everybody else, so he's got very good points for his club. If he's first, he gets 9 points. If he's second, he gets 7 points. And points do matter. You don't run in many races nowadays where it's a team event. You run in international races and you're running for yourself, but a team event like this makes every single place, every single position very, very important, and Pinto's done a good job for his club. Boutaeb tucked in behind him.
It is a very fast pace, I must say. Well, we've missed that high jump that I promised you, but we can go shortly to see the long jump, hopefully, because we've got Hernandez, who is challenging for the lead, and he is the last to go in the competition. So Boutaeb content, and actually the pace is very fast indeed. You've got a good indication there from that 7,000 meter time.
Yes, they're still on just outside 28-minute pace. Pinto pushing it along. His best is only 28:01. So very brave running from him, and I would have thought that he can run a lot faster than this later on in the summer when he gets a bit more speed in his legs. Obviously very early in the season for all these athletes, so they're all just stretching out for perhaps the first time after a long winter's training. Boutaeb's personal best for 5,000 was set in Spain last year towards the end of July. So if he aims to peak again about that time, he's got about 7 weeks from now to get in a lot of speed work and be running good 3,000s and 5,000s.
Well, this is, as I promised you, Angel Hernandez of Spain, and he has 7.77, and he's attacking the lead held by Stuart Faulkner of Great Britain, who has 7 meters and 90, and Hernandez certainly capable. He's looked very, very quick. There's Faulkner seated to the right of the athlete, to the left of our picture. Faulkner, who set a new English record in 1989 of 8 meters and 14. So, Hernandez. And that's a nice jump, and he really is quite talented. Good hang once again, and let's see what he's done there. I don't think it's as far, and the shake of the head probably gives it away. So Hernandez, 24 years old, big improver. Now, relaxed in the shoulders, good use of the arms, high knee lift. He's a sprinter, and long jumping is about, believe it or not, jumping high off that board. The adjustment was nice. He got good lift and got his reward, didn't he? There it is, 7 meters and 75, and that is the 5th round. He's got 1 jump left. Still in second.
Back to the 10,000 and still no change. Going back to what I was saying, Boutayeb, of course, is not a European. He's Moroccan, so he's not involved in the European Championships later on this summer. So he can afford to peak in 6 to 7 weeks when the main Grand Prix meetings of the summer take place. A lot of the top Europeans will be saving their best for the very end of the season for those European Championships when they'll be looking for medals.
That's a good point you make, actually, Tim, because the Americans, of course, will be over in Europe. There'll be lots of people chasing Grand Prix places and Grand Prix points and the big money rewards that come with it. And, of course, as you say, Boutayeb will have the freedom to do that. And we may see the Europeans certainly more selective in their choice of events to run in. And we may not see them all in the events that we'll see them in Split in the European Championships.
That's right, of course. A lot of people do feel there are too many championships nowadays.
Well, Ortiz now, 2 meters and 24, first attempt. And Ortiz, look at the calmness about him. He's got athletes running past him. They're lapped athletes, I might tell you, in the 10,000 meters. And Ortiz, well, he had a clearance at 2 meters and 21. He's had a good series so far. Oh, yes. Very, very nicely done. We're making a look at that series shortly. On the statistics, on the computer, but certainly he is pressing for the Larios club. He's one of the slower approach, low-impact jumpers. He doesn't turn quite so quickly as some of the shorter, faster jumpers, but he does get good technique. He's on the ground longer, and he works very, very hard indeed. There you are, 2 meters and 24, and that's his 6th consecutive first-time clearance. There you are, 2:24 for Ortiz. He's leading at the moment. Well, Boutayeb has taken over now in this 10,000 meters. He's decided that it's time to take over and not risk a sprint attack by his opponent who's been there, and that's Pinto. He's been there all the time and taken the lead and held that lead, and now Boutayeb has taken it over.
4 laps to go for Boutayeb now, and he's decided to make this a training session for himself. He's sat in for most of the race, 21 laps. Now he's gone to the front and pushing it along. He'll probably just want to see how fast he can run this last mile. A good hard workout for him. Good weekend's training, in fact, for somebody who can run so much faster than this pace. He can really afford to take a very lackadaisical, laid-back attitude about it all. And there you see him passing the Italian athlete, Vincenzo Modica, who decides to run along beside him. Almost looks like they're having a little conversation.
Well, Stu Faulkner, the 6th and final jump in this long jump, the Birchfield Harrier, trying to get the crowd involved in this. It's not a big crowd in the stand, as you saw earlier. There they are, but they're all involved. And Stuart Faulkner leads with 7 meters and 90. The wind speed is minus 3 meters per second against. His final jump now is ahead of the Spaniard Hernandez. Oh, and he's got a red flag, and that's a great shame because that was 8-meter jumping once again. Faulkner, 4th in the World Junior Championships in 1988. He was 3rd in the European Cup and World Cup in 1989. He perhaps is going to be at the helm of British long jumping for some time. The English record holder at 8 meters and 14. As the leading jump so far at 7 meters and 90, that was in the 5th round. Can he hang on and beat off Hernandez? Well, the 10,000 meters reaching its climax now, and Boutayeb, this is a lap runner here, Boutayeb is really storming along. We're going to have a chance to look at Veal before we get to the 10,000 metres. Veal in the 6th and final round. And he's a big man, and he's powering that shot out way beyond. That's a no put, though. Shakes his head. I had 3 good puts in the first 3 rounds, and then 3 no throws, and his best throw, 19 metres and 56, and that is quite good technique. Gets a good active right leg, good lift, and doesn't quite get the distance. He steps on the stop board. Butayab then leading 10.
Butayab, 2 laps to go, out on his own now. He had a good ride off Pinto for the first 20 laps. Pinto, the Portuguese, did all the work, but here you see the Olympic champion. He's had enough. He's out on his own, pushing it very hard this last couple of laps, but still looking relaxed. He's now lapping at about 65 seconds per lap pace, and if he keeps this up, he will be getting around 28 minutes, possibly under 28 minutes. He may have that mark in his own mind. Perhaps he'd like to get under 28 minutes. There's a great deal of significance, of course, that in international terms, if you can get under 28 minutes, you're talking very respectable running. But Butayab looking behind him just to check that Pinto is well out of sight. There's no pressure on him now. He can relax and concentrate on his running form. And he does look relaxed, doesn't he? Look at that, his arms swinging away, no trouble at all.
I actually sense that he's gritting his teeth a bit here, and he senses that perhaps he can get inside 28 minutes. He's now started to dig in a bit and go for it. Look at this, he's opening out all of a sudden, and I just have a feeling that he saw the clock, and looking at the clock, it's possible he could get inside 28.
He looks so relaxed approaching the bell there, Stuart. I wonder if he's really that bothered actually now, but he's striding out, as you say. He's going to need about a 57.5 second last lap. That's not hanging about when you've been running at 66, 68 second pace. That's a big acceleration, and that's what a lot of athletes struggle to achieve in training, is the ability to accelerate off a slow pace immediately to a very fast pace. And here you see him lengthening his stride, working harder with his arms, gritting his teeth, in fact, which is more than he did in the Olympic final where he looked so easy. Here he comes into the finishing straight. Yes, he is. He's going for it.
Well, if he does get under 28 minutes, it'll be the 5th time he's achieved it. Much faster than when he won the race last year. Oh, look at that, just inside 28. So he really was going for it. That was a personal attempt. He won the race last year at 29 minutes and 6 so that is a very much quicker race. 27.7 seconds for the last 200 meters. Well, he doesn't look tired, does he? This is a man who's going to set his stall in the Grand Prix circuit this season. Well, there it is, Butayab, 27.59.45, gets his 28-minute break. Pinto second, and Levis in 3rd place. That's the result of the 10,000 metres, won by the Olympic champion. And the shot at Weil, who we saw a couple of times, 1956 in the lead. Well, he won that from Andre, the 1984 Olympic champion of 1928, and Lazarevic of Yugoslavia, 1886 in 3rd. Let's have a look at the scores there. Club Larios, as one would expect after those wins, and there's still some more points to come from the high jump, I would think. 43 are the Italians, Racing Club France, Belgrade in 4th, Birchfield Harriers in 5th, then Benfica, Moscow and Amsterdam. Well, that's the situation after 7 events. We're going to take a break now. After the break, we've got the 4x100 metres relay. Back to this stadium for these European Club Championships for Athletics. It's been a good first day so far. We've still got a good high jump competition in progress. We saw Arturo Ortez go clear at 2 metres and 24. Well, he's winning the competition. He's going to attempt 2 metres 26 now, just to attempt to seal it. Ortez of Spain, he's looked very good throughout this. And he's cool and calm. This is Larios collecting another 9 points. Oh, he's clear. 2:26, and what a good performance that was. I wonder if he'll go higher. He's won it though at 2:26. That's all that matters. He's got 9 points. A crowd appreciate that because it was a world-class performance, and the Larios vest carries another 9 points. Let's have a look at him again. Not fast, as I said. Good use of the arms. Tremendous mobility in the back. and he gets his reward. 2 meters 26, and it took him 3 attempts, but he's won it. Well, Tim, we've got the 4x100 meters relay, and of course there'll have been last-minute changes, but let's have a look at the lineup. The Italians on the inside, the Soviets in lane 2, France in 3, Spain in 4, Portugal in 5, Great Britain in 6, Yugoslavia in 7, and the Dutch in lane 8. Given their countries of origin, it's a little bit simpler to read than the list of clubs on caption. Tim.
Well, this is where you find out just how closely knit a club is, Stuart, because the changeovers are of vital importance in this event. It doesn't matter if you've got 4 good sprinters, if they can't change over cleanly with that pattern, then you lose the race.
Well, let's see how they go now. The first change is the Birchfield Harriers going very well right on the outside, the Dutch going well. The Dutch leading at the moment as they go in, and that's the long jumper going off there for them. And the Dutch leading at the moment, Birchfield in second, and Larios coming through on the inside, and Benfica running well too. And the changeover's all good so far, and Larios coming into the lead at the moment. Larios leading, Birchfield in second place right on the outside. The Dutch fading, Larios leading, and Larios clear. Oh, bad changeover, and on the inside the Racing Club of France with Bruno Rose coming through, and Bruno Rose brings the Racing Club of France through. Second place Larios, and well, it was very close between the Italians and the Portuguese for third place, but no doubt about the winning club. And there were some suspect changeovers in there, but Bruno Murray Rose, the world indoor record holder at 200, anchored that relay in some style. And look at the time, 39.45. And let's have a look at this changeover. The final changeover, Tim, for Larios left a little bit to be desired.
Well, it was absolutely amazing. There you see the man in yellow coming in. That person he's handing over to is Innocent Egbeniki, the world-class 400-metre runner, and what an appalling changeover. Bruno Murray Rose was behind him before the changeover, took over the baton, and there you see him striding past to a comfortable win for the French club, Racing Club France.
Well, there you are. The French 39.44. The Spanish in second, 39.91, and Benfica 40.51 in third place. Well, let's have a look at the long jump results. Stuart Faulkner did win it, 7 meters and 90. Hernandez second, 7.77, and Markovic of Yugoslavia 7 meters and 62 in third. So, high jump, Ortez, we saw him win at 2.26, he failed at 2.28. Topic, 2.24 in second. Fedorkov of the Soviet Union, 2.21 in third. So, Larios getting valuable points. At the end of day one, Larios with 68 points from the Italians in second, 57 points, and Racing Club of France 56 points in third. There they are. And remember, we've got another day's athletics for you tomorrow from these European Club Championships. And the Birchfield Harriers in 6th place. And let's look, Sunday, June the 3rd, 2000 hours and 1900 hours in the United Kingdom. Well, we've enjoyed our first day at these European Club Championships. Hope you have too. From Tim Hutchins and myself, Stuart Story, goodbye.